So I'm back with an update from my last video. Um, and I talked about all the complications that I was having after my Lapiplasty surgery. Okay, well, I'm going to go back to the beginning of my surgery just in case someone's watching that has not followed all my videos. I had surgery on August 7th. And after surgery, they bandage up your foot and they put a like a ace wrap on, wrapped it all around my foot. 3 days later, I have my first appointment, and that's when they put the first cast on. So when I go to my appointment, I have a resident that is taking care of me. He takes the bandages off and whatever, and he puts the cast on. He puts the cast on wrong. So the cast is supposed to be at a 90-degree angle, which is, your foot is supposed to be as straight as possible, like this. And my foot was at an incline like this. So I was having pain after. Not right away, but that night I was having a lot of pain. So I called them the following day and I'm like, you know what? I'm having a lot of pain. Like, it was so much pain. I wanted to just rip this cast off. Like, I have to get this cast off. And they said, okay, come Wednesday, if you're still having pain, call us and then you'll come in and we'll replace the cast. Of course, come Wednesday, it's getting worse. The pain is getting worse. And it was all in my ankle, my heel. So it was all on the side of my ankle and the heel and the back of my ankle. That's where I had all the pain. So come Thursday, they were like, okay, come in Thursday. So I go in and, I see a doctor that's an actual doctor that's been there for a while. He replaces my cast. He's like, yeah, your problem was that your cast wasn't on right. It wasn't at a 90-degree angle, and that can cause a lot of pain. I'm like, yeah, no duh, Sherlock. That's what I've been telling these fucking girls in the front. They're stupid. They want to act like, I'm crazy, but whatever. Anyway, so I was going through my visits every Monday. They would check my foot and, so on and so forth. 25 days later, I start getting excruciating pain in my calf. Like, it was bad. It was like I started moaning. It was so strong. This pain was so strong. Like, I was moaning at night. Like, I was tossing and turning, moaning. I couldn't sleep. So once it got to that, I started having pain, and then it just started getting worse. And once I was like, you know what, I can't take it. It was like 3 days later, I called the doctor and I'm like, I'm having a lot of pain. I don't know what could be going on. I don't know what's wrong. He's like, okay, come in and let me look at it. He takes off the cast. He's like, where's your pain? Like, it was like right in my calf. That was where the pressure point was. He's like, well, the only thing it could be is some blood clots. Let's just make sure it's not blood clots, or then you can come back and I can put the cast back on. So go get it checked out. So he gave me a prescription to go get it checked out. So I went to the to an ultrasound place, and they seen me that morning, the following morning, and they're doing the ultrasound. They check my whole leg. They start from the groin and they start going down, checking every area. And then once she got all the way down toward my ankle, that's where she found the blood clots. That's where she found the issue. So she said, you have 2 blood clots. You have one, the back of your leg, which is above your ankle, and then one on the left side of your ankle. So I had 2 blood clots. So I called my primary doctor. I said, I just found out I have blood clots on my leg. What do you want me to do? You know, what should I do? And she's like, well, just go to the hospital, make sure it hasn't traveled anywhere other than it stayed in your leg, make sure it didn't go to your lungs or anywhere else. So I went to the doctor, not the doctor, but the hospital. And I was there for about 3 hours. And I get all these tests done. And they're like, okay, you have to be on blood thinner for 3 months. So they prescribed Xarelto. And it was like, the reason why you got blood clots was because you didn't have enough blood circulation in your leg after your surgery, because it's, you have a lot of trauma in your foot. And if you have it wrapped in a cast, which of course I didn't tell them that, that the first cast they put it on wrong. They were like, oh, that was your problem. I already know this, I already know this. So anyway, if you have your foot wrapped up after some trauma on your foot, and you can't move it, and you have no blood circulation, then that's what can create blood clots. And I was like, okay. So now you just have to stay on Xarelto for 3 months. I was like, okay, great. Whatever. What else, what else can I do? I can't do shit but do that, because, it's, life-threatening, so I'm going to have to do it. So anyway, after that, 4 days later, let's see, that was the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, yep. 4 days later, I started my menstrual period early. I started it 4, 5, 6, 7, about 6 days early. And, I started spotting. It was kind of normal, and it started getting very heavy, like so heavy, and it just started getting worse and worse. Like the first day was okay. The second day, it was getting really heavy. The third day, it was like beyond heavy. It was like a leaky faucet. Like I was leaking, like drip, 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 like constantly. So I called my primary doctor. I said, is this normal? I'm bleeding a lot. Like I'm bleeding a lot. Like I can't go anywhere. I have to stay home. Like I can't, go anywhere. That's how much I'm bleeding. And she was like, well, come in. I need to take some blood tests. Let's see what's going on. So she came in. I went in, and then she was like, okay, got my blood work. When they send it up to her, she told me your hemoglobin is very low. It's at a 10.6 or 10.3. I can't remember. She said it's very low. So you're probably feeling very weak, very tired right now. I said, yes, I am. And she was like, well, if you feel very dizzy and feel like you're about to faint, just go to the hospital. If you faint, just go to the hospital. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. But all right, she's like, we'll monitor it, I'll check in with you tonight and whatever. So then I started doing my own research when I got home. I'm like, what can stop this bleeding? I'm like, I have to figure something out, because this is ridiculous. I can't go through this anymore. So I start researching. I Google it. I'm like, what can stop the bleeding? The one thing popped up, said, take ibuprofen. So I'm like, okay, ibuprofen and Xarelto shouldn't be bad. I don't think it's bad. So I took it. I took 200 milligrams that night. And then in the morning, I took another 200 milligrams. And then that night, I took another 200 milligrams. And then the the following day, which was the third day, I took 200 milligrams again in the morning. And then I started just spotting, like it just went away. I was like, what the hell? Awesome. And so on my checkup, my follow-up with my doctor, I told her what I did. I said I took ibuprofen. That was the only thing that stopped it. She's like, oh, I don't know if you should have did that. I don't know if that's good, blah, blah, blah. Let me check with the pharmacist. And I'm like, okay. She's like, she called me back that night. She's like, yeah, it's fine. Pharmacist said, as long as you don't take 400 milligrams, you don't exceed 400 milligrams a day, you'll be fine for your next cycle. I said, okay, because either I was going to stop the Xarelto because I wasn't going to go through this again for that week and let my menstrual periods pass and then go back on the Xarelto. She's like, no, just take it like you were taking it, 200 milligrams in the morning, 200 milligrams at night. Try to monitor it, control it, and see, if that works out for you your next cycle. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let it, come in gradually, and then the second, third day, I'm gonna start taking ibuprofen. That way, it just doesn't get out of control because the Xarelto that I'm on right now, I'm on, double dose. I'm on taking 15 milligrams in the morning and 15 milligrams at night for 21 days, which I should be almost up with that. So then after my 21 days, I take 20 milligrams for the next, in the next 9 weeks. I don't know, whatever. I know I'm just going to be on it for 3 months. So, and then when it comes to my foot, surgery, it's been swollen. I mean, after the 6th week, the doctor told me I can walk on my foot with the boot. So it took me about 3 days to start walking on it. I was trying and trying here and there. I was gradually taking baby steps. And I started walking on it the 3rd day, like a lot more, because it was kind of painful. It was painful when I was walking on it, even though I had the boot. So it took me about 3 days to get used to it, and just say, hey, I'm just gonna walk on it. Let's just do this. Let's just start getting this process going. And ever since then, it's been fine. My foot is all, swollen. If I don't elevate it, it gets swollen. At night, I elevate it all night. In the morning, my foot looks normal. It's not swollen. And once I start walking on it, it gets swollen again. So, I mean, that's what they say. Your foot's going to be swollen for a while. So that's pretty normal, other than everything else that's been going on with me. But ever since that first cast, I tell you, when that first cast was put on wrong, I've been having just like issues with my ankle. I just feel like it's very swollen right now. Like it's swollen. It's just always swollen. So I believe that the first cast that was put on, and it was put on wrong, I believe that that's what caused the blood clots. Because ever since then, I've been having issues with my ankle. Like it's swollen, it hurts. If I'm not wearing my boot, I just feel like I need support in my ankle. I don't know what else to say other than that for now, but just stay safe. I say stay healthy. I say do all your research. Make sure you go to a doctor if you're planning on having the surgery. Go to a doctor that's very experienced. And every time you go to your appointments, make sure it's a doctor that has been doing it for a while. Not a resident, not someone in training. You're not a guinea pig. You know what I'm saying? Just